I remember the feeling of like watching my first award show, must have been an Oscar ceremony, and discovering like, oh wait, these people are the people that make movies. And just thinking like, oh, I want to do that too.
My mom always used to buy me art supplies, and I always wanted the crayon box that had like 128 colors because, you know, why limit yourself? And I felt like filmmaking was the 128 color crayon box.
Up until the moment I got a job at Pixar, I don't know if I really believed that I could have a future in filmmaking because I never saw myself like visually represented on screen or even behind the cameras. Without seeing that representation, you kind of doubted that you could do it.
When I was a kid growing up, my family was Mexican, but most of the kids I went to school with were not. And so, you know, my culture was Nintendo 64.
I grew up in California, the Bay Area, having more salsa in my house than ketchup. We had tortillas instead of sliced Wonder Bread.
I like to be referred to as Mexican-American, you know, both. I'm very proud to be both.
I'm Latino, but I'm Chicano first, which means to say, like, I wasn't born in Mexico. I actually don't have a lot of family in Mexico at all. But what I have is Latino identity.
We're Mexican and we're American, but those two things are not mutually exclusive.
I used to say Latin or Latin American, maybe Latin for short. Hispanic, I guess that makes sense too. Spanish is a no-no.
And I really didn't know how to identify myself until I actually saw the movie Selena, and there's a particular line: we're not Mexican enough to be Mexican, but not American enough to be American.
There's this saying in Mexico, no soy de aquí, no soy de allá, which means I'm not from here, I'm not from there. It's tricky, you know, when you're kind of in the middle like that. You're always feeling kind of on the outside.
I would say more from both places, instead of ni de aquí ni de allá. I'll say soy de allá y de aquí.
On this film, we realized that we had a responsibility and also a really great resource. We have so many people who work at Pixar who are Latino, Hispanic, Mexican, Mexican-American.
We all just started sharing our own kind of upbringing stories, and we very quickly realized that like there was a lot of similarities, but then there was definitely a lot of differences. Families come in all shapes and sizes, no matter what culture you're from.
Coco for me is exciting because it's the first time that I get to mesh two things about myself, my passion for art and who I feel that I am as a Hispanic.
You become very aware of how little power your community in general has in terms of the people who are represented all the time and whose stories are seen as like, oh, this is just normal. Well, that's your normal, it's not mine.